a brief intro. And we will also hear from our electeds and candidates who will hopefully become electeds. Let them give a elevator speech briefly, and then we will roll on with the major content of the program. We have what we hope to be a very good show for y'all. Because tomorrow is Labor Day, this is the Labor Day weekend. The primary focus of our guest speakers is the labor movement. We've got two awesome folks who are long-time folks and have hopefully some awesome stuff to tell you all about their respective time and their knowledge of the history of the labor movement in the Harris County and Texas areas. We've got Ginny McDonald and Kenny Sumberlin. I'll go into that a little bit more later.
Sounds like we have some music in the background.
Yeah. Reminder that while we do appreciate a little bit of assistance, it's probably for the best if folks are keeping themselves on mute unless they are preparing to be stepping up to the mic, so to speak. We are here once again on Zoom. We are very much all looking forward to the time when we can meet in person again. But this has certainly reduced our commute time, so that's good for the environment. Maybe not quite as satisfying, but
it's also reduced our pants wearing time, right?
For sure. I haven't seen a pair of jeans in so long. I'm not even sure where they are anymore.
If y'all haven't already, please say hello in the chat, introduce yourselves, tell us what part of Harris County are you in.
Or if you're joining from outside of Harris County, we'd love to hear that as well.
I'd like to know why you join us, you know, maybe
Yep,
we're just so awesome, you know.
Absolutely. All right, it is now 2:04 by my clock, so we will give it about another minute or so before we get a formal thing going. Just to let y'all know, please bear with us if we have some technical difficulties. We are running slightly short-staffed. We are a crew of 5 members that are currently operating at a strength of 3. We have John Floyd is out on a well-earned, I suppose is the right term, anniversary celebration with his wife, and so will not be joining us today. And Latanya Whittington is out with medical and will hopefully be recovered soon and back at full strength soon as well. Good to see fellow Baytonians out here. I'm on the Baytown side as well, across the river, across the San Jacinto. Looking out the window at Exxon.
All right, y'all, since it's 2:05, I guess we can go ahead and begin.
All right, let's get this show on the road. As mentioned, John Floyd and Latanya Whittington are out today. Our staff that are here, myself, Chuck Cruz, Jeremy Scheid is running the show, and Scott Foilis will be helping us out with doing our very first treasurer's report for the Our Revolution Harris County a little bit later, but not to get too much ahead of myself. Just a reminder, we always like to start off talking about our mission statement. Our Revolution Harris County mission is to be working in the furtherance of economic, political, social, racial, and environmental justice through education, direct action, and political engagement. We say it all the time, and we'll say it again at some point. When we organize, we win. And now to Scott.
Hi, everybody. So yes, as Chuck mentioned, I am pleased to bring you our first treasurer's report for the Our Revolution Harris County chapter. That is because we reorganized as a PAC. We are now able to take donations, spend money even on candidates' campaigns if we wish to support them that way. We have just gotten started, so we have $76.87 in the bank. That is due to 4 donations from myself, from William Hunn, from Jeremy Scheid, and from Rafi Kalausti, and I hope I said that right. And thank you very much, Rafi, for making it monthly. The more of those monthly donations we get, the faster this number is going to add up. So as you can see, we have a little bit skimming off the top going to CrowdPack, which is the online digital donation engine that we use. So we have $76.87 in the bank. I know John Floyd already gave us a generous donation that'll show up next month. Looking forward to a lot more of those. But this is what your treasurer's report is going to look like every month. So if there's anything different you'd like to see, please feel free to let us know. We definitely want to be as transparent as possible, excuse me, as possible on the money. We've also got the donation link there on the slide. Hopefully someone will put that in the chat as well. Now, just so there's no confusion, you may get emails, and also when you sign up on Mobilize, the national organization for Our Revolution asks for donations. That's completely separate from the chapters. We don't get any money from them. So the money that you donate through this link is what keeps this chapter going and lets us do the things we want to do, just so there's no confusion about that. Any questions on the treasurer's report? You can raise your hand. All right, seeing none, we can move on.
And Jeremy has just dropped some links in for becoming a member. We always are very glad for our dues paid members, both for Our Revolution Texas, as well as now Our Revolution Harris County. We very much appreciate membership in both of those, and can't not talk about Our Revolution Harris County shirts that we now have. So let's also support the club by getting some money back for our printing costs for those, and build up the club as well. Definitely appreciate our members.
Chuck, if you don't mind me jumping in, I wanted to add, just so y'all know, we did share a copy of the slide deck in the chat. On the slide deck, it does have all the links that you need that we'll be sharing throughout the meeting. We'll also try to put them in the chat as quickly as we can. And we also apologize about t-shirts. We did have original plan for a method for people to come out and get t-shirts this month, but due to some unfortunate circumstances, we're going to try to organize better next month on ways that you can buy our new Our Revolution Harris County t-shirts. So now that we got that out of the way, Chuck, can you continue?
Certainly. Our agenda for today, we are going to start off with Candidates Corner, as previously mentioned. We will be talking about leadership elections coming up. We've got guest speakers on the labor movement in Harris County. Virginia McDavid goes by Ginny from HCLA, and Kenny Sumberlin from IBEW to tell us all about the labor movement. Then we will have a convention recap for anyone who missed that. Then we'll be talking about upcoming meetings and events and how you can get involved and help us push Texas further to the left. So we would like to start off with the Candidates Corner. Please put your hands up in the chat. Please keep your eye on Scott's window. He will start with the green, and once the clock gets going, he will have the, I think it's 30-second warning, and time to stop goes red. So let us get rolling on.
We will also remind our candidates, we do have a lot of people speaking, and to respect everyone's time, we ask that you please keep it to 1 minute. So I repeat that, please keep your elevator pitch to 1 minute. And we will start off with Miss Deidre Davis.
Good morning, good afternoon, depending on what part of the country you're in, but we're all Harris County. So good afternoon to our revolution. It is a pleasure to be here with you today. And yay that John is getting an opportunity to go on his anniversary, but we do miss him and we definitely miss LaTanya and we'll keep her in our prayers. But Charles, Scott, Jeremy, it's great to see you all the leadership of our revolution. Judge Deidre Davis, over 30 years of legal experience. Judge Deidre Davis, 10 of that as a civil litigation paralegal. Judge Deidre Davis, 21 years running my own practice, where as an entrepreneur, I developed being creative and forward thinking. Judge Deidre Davis running this bench that you put me on, your judge, you put me there, and as one of our colleagues says, you got it right, you made the right choice. Judge Deidre Davis not focusing on what couldn't be done during a pandemic, but focused on what could be done during a pandemic. And what I was able to do during a pandemic was get 45 trials done that year, 2020, 45 done and 52 overall. What could be done was making sure law and order equals justice. What could be done, Deidre Davis, Judge Deidre Davis, your judge, made sure that kindness, compassion, integrity, and equality all took place. So I am Judge Deidre Davis. Scott, I miss your old sign. Whenever I see that, I'll be like, yeah, but I know you're with me. Judge Deidre Davis.
Thanks, Judge.
Y'all are doing a great job. Wonderful, Charles. We are here for you. We're a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. So we're all going to get through this together. Thank you so much. Judge Deidre Davis, your judge. Like my colleague said, you got it right. You made the right choice. Thank you. Hey, Jerome, I see you scratching your nose.
Thank you. Thank you, Judge Davis. Next, we have Judge David Singer.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy and Chuck. Really appreciate the opportunity. You know, in a week that we saw, and by the way, my name is David Singer. I'm your judge of Harris County Criminal Court at Law number 14. In a week that we saw voting rights come under attack, women's reproductive rights come under attack, we also saw the rights of poor people to be treated equally in the criminal justice system come under attack as well. And that's why it's so important this time to keep your incumbent Democratic judges in the county criminal courts at law. In 2018, we were elected, replaced 15 Republicans, and made changes in the criminal courthouse. The bill that passed this week is specifically attacking those changes that the Harris County judges have made. So we need to keep our judges there because we plan on fighting those that bill and going back to federal court and doing whatever we can do is necessary to keep the principle that people shouldn't have to plead guilty just to get out of jail on minor offenses when they can't afford just small amounts of bail. So we need to keep your incumbent Democratic judges in the county criminal courts at law. I'm David Singer, your judge of Harris County Criminal Court at Law number 14. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Singer. Next, we have Judge David Fleischer.
All right. Hey, good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, everybody. I am David Fleischer. I am the judge in county criminal court at law number 5. It is one of the misdemeanor courts here in downtown. They handle misdemeanors like DWIs, assaults. You know, I am with Judge Singer here, who just spoke prior to me. And, you know, we are instituting a lot of new things. You know, bail reform is obviously on everybody's mind. Well, we believe in it, and that's what we do, you know. We practice it every day, and you know, we've gone above and beyond the call of duty to help people who can't be there normally because they're either working, they've got childcare. We opened up an open hours court that if someone has a problem, you know, they can come in an off hours time, and we will still give them a PR bond or help them out in any way that we can. That's what we do. You know, we're nice, we have empathy and patience because that's what it's about, you know. And I'm running for re-election again. I hope that you'll support me. I was supported by this group. I am a member of this organization and I show up to multiple meetings. So I'm hoping that you'll support us back. And then I'm David Fleischer running for Court 5 again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Judge Fleischer. Next, we have Judge Natalia Oaks.
Hi, I'm Natalia Oaks, and I'm judge of the 313th Juvenile District Court running for re-election. I had 20 years experience practicing as a lawyer in juvenile court before I became judge in 2018. And what we've accomplished in these 3 years is a real source of pride. We're keeping the youth close to home. We've established diversion programs for nonviolent offenders, and we're utilizing more community outreach and input. I do have a primary opponent, and I hope I can earn your support this year. I preside over gang court, and I am the administrative judge of the juvenile division. I hope for your support in 2022. My name is Natalia Oaks, nataliaforjudge.com. Thank you. And hi, all the familiar faces like Ginny.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge. Thank you, Judge Oaks. And I apologize for mispronouncing your first
Oh,
name.
that's quite all right. And I
Uh,
might have to leave early. I have to go to a funeral home.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, me too.
Next,
Thank
we
you.
have Judge Jason Long.
Hi, our revolution. This is Judge Leung. I was supported by you in 2018. I'm your judge of the 185th District Court. The work that you do is so important, and I want to support this group so that you guys can grow and do the most important work, which is getting more voters out there to vote for this cause. My wife is a former union member. She stays home with her kids now, but we have a long history in public service and with the union. I have a primary opponent. A lot of the criminal court judges have primary opponents because it's amazing how many people suddenly became Democrats after we worked in 2018 to turn Harris County blue. I want you to support our real Democratic candidates who've been here for you. I've been here since 2016 running for office, making sure we turn blue. I'm committed to bail reform. I'm committed to making sure that the people in the system get the help they need. You know, almost 40% of all people who are charged with criminal cases in Harris County have mental health issues. Harris County Jail is the single largest provider of mental health services. Connecting people with mental health services is oftentimes what we as judges have to do to keep our communities safe. It takes time, it takes work, and I'm happy to do it. I'm also elected by my judges to be the presiding judge of Veterans Court. We provide VA services. Instead of sending veterans to prison, we provide them with counseling, rehabilitation, so they can return and become prosperous members of our community. My name is Judge Jason Leung, and I hope to have your support again. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Long. Next, we have Denise Brown.
Hi, everyone. My name is Denise Brown. I am running for the 270th Civil District Court. I'm a 20-year licensed attorney, more than 20 years actually, and I'm a trial lawyer. And being a trial lawyer means that I'm not afraid of jury trials. Right now, no jury trials are really happening in the 270th, and they really haven't happened in the last couple of years, and before that as well. And what that means is that cases aren't moving. And I'm running on integrity, I'm running on efficiency, I'm running on equality. And what that means is the integrity to make sure that when something is said by the court, it is true, and it is honest, and it is the absolute truth. I'm running on efficiency to make sure that when cases come before me, they are moved as efficiently as possible. Jury trials happen, bench trials happen. And then I'm running on equality to make sure that when somebody stands in front of me, they're treated the same as anybody else, regardless of what they look like, where they come from, who they love, what their background is. I've got a plaintiff, I've got a defendant, you have the facts, I have the law. This is how the court should be run. So Denise Brown for the 270th, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. Next, we have Judge Chris Morton.
Hello, my name is Chris Morton. I'm the judge of the 230th Criminal District Court. It's very important that we get the support for our judges. Like my colleagues have said, it's incredible what we've seen come out of the 87th legislature this year. We've seen attacks against women. We've seen attacks against minorities and voting rights. And we're seeing a lot of attacks against the judiciary. It's a badge of honor almost to be able to announce that yesterday I learned that Republicans have actually entered articles for my impeachment as a judge. because of my commitment to the law and my commitment to the ideals and the policies that we've been putting into place for the last 2.5 years. I don't think that those articles are going to go anywhere, but it is nice to know that the Republicans in the state are afraid of what we are doing here in Harris County. And I'm proud to be one of the judges that they are afraid of. So I look forward to your support. I thank you for your support in the past. I'm running for re-election in 2022. Chris Morton, Judge of the 230th District Court.
Thank you, Judge Morton. Next, we have Patty Limon de Rodriguez.
Hi, everybody. I'm here on behalf of my husband, Raul Rodriguez. He's the judge of Harris County Criminal Court at Law number 13. It's a holiday weekend. I'm not going to take a full minute. He's also going to be featured in the October meeting, so you'll learn more about him then. But just asking everybody to consider supporting him in the upcoming election. He does not have a primary opponent yet, but we don't know what's going to happen. So thanks everybody for listening. Have a great weekend and go our revolution.
Thank you for that very quick introduction. Next, we have Judge Clinton Chip Wells.
Hey, Jeremy, good afternoon to our revolution. I appreciate you all giving me this opportunity to say hello. I'm going to take these glasses off. I can't see with them and I can't see without them. But I can tell you that I'm currently working for you in the 312th Family District Court. I'm proud to tell you that I have been there every day since the pandemic began. That's mostly because Lily and I don't have young children, so I didn't have problems with children at home. But I was there to serve you, and I'd like to continue serving you in 2022. I am the only lawyer with the kind of experience that I bring 42 years before I ascended to the bench. I've been a friend of labor since I can remember. To see you all again very soon. Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you very much, Judge Wells. Next, we have Tim Mahoney. Mr. Mahoney?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was trying to get the video on. I'm running for controller, and we're just getting it off the ground. I'm going to be in San Antonio Monday with a candidate table. I'm not sure how it's all going to go with the COVID, trying to run something statewide, but it should be interesting. I've testified this year at the redistricting committee, one of the redistricting committees, and also the appropriations committee, when they were doing a process for, this legislature always, I think, takes away more than it gives. And it was something to try to make the state retirement system solvent. And it's been really not solvent for 20 years. So nobody can get a cost of living increase. And what they did pass, all things being equal, the state's employee retirement system should be solvent in 30 years. So it's hurry up and lie about what our state dollars are doing. So I'm going to be, my campaign is live. The website is live. And we're going to start putting out reports kind of modeled on Mike Collier's efforts when he ran for controller 8 years ago and did his book. And he has charts in there about, where you can actually, I think the Republicans, their lies are so deep that it's how we make connections with each other that's going to make the difference.
Thank you, Mr. Mahoney.
Sure.
Next, we have, I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, Andrak,
yeah.
Andrak Soto, yes.
Good afternoon. My name is Andrak Soto. I am a volunteer for Jero Rogers. Jero Rogers is running for the Harris County Criminal Court at law number 14 because he wants to bring a community-focused approach to the bench. Even before becoming a lawyer and handling murders and capital murders, he had and continues to have demonstrated history of public service in our community. He is a former public school teacher at Charlestown Middle School. He is an usher at his church. He trains officers about racial profiling. He mentors. The law says that a judge must consider the community when considering bond. And how can a judge do that if he himself isn't present and active in the community? Jero has the experience inside the courtroom and in our communities, and this is what makes him the best choice for Harris County Criminal Court at law number 14, because he is fit for the bench.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Soto. And our final speaker will be Ms. Santos, Ms. Elizabeth Santos.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. I just want to say thank you. And I'm Trustee Santos, and I can only call myself that because of organizations like this. I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve our kids and community, and super honored to have received your endorsement 4 years ago. Throughout the last 4 years, I've created policy that champions student voice, honors and respects teachers, and strengthen our audit department. And last but not least, defended democracy against tyrannical forces that have tried to strip your democratically elected school board away, and an unconstitutional executive order that jeopardizes the health and safety of our kids. Right now is the time to keep the leadership we have so we can continue defending democracy. Democracy is the cornerstone of public education. And I just want to say that I've done a lot in the last 4 years, and it's because we had a community-driven campaign. We didn't take vendor money 4 years ago, and I have not taken any vendor money since I've been on the board. I know that commitment is there for you. We are a grassroots campaign. Students, teachers, I'm out block walking now. We're all getting together to elect someone that has given an average $6,000 teacher salary increase. We've raised the minimum wage to a living wage from $12 to $14, the highest in HISD history. We've protected democracy. We've defended our kids. We're keeping our kids safe from Abbott's ridiculous mandates. And we need experienced leadership. I'm the only candidate with any experience in public education. I'm the only candidate in this district that's running for this district. Thank you. That has that's been a student, a teacher, a volunteer. I've lived, breathed HISD since 1986, and hope that my son will be able to go to his neighborhood school. And that's what I'm planning on. And I fight for my students. And I'm going to fight. I'm going to continue fighting. So thank you so much. Elizabeth Santos, District 1 HISD trustee.
Thank you, Ms. Santos. Now, just a little heads up for later in the meeting, we will be having a little segment where Ms. Santos, we will discuss Ms. Santos' renewal for endorsement. So I hope that you can join us a little later in the meeting as well. I see that you're block walking. If you're having some troubles, please just let us know, okay? And I believe that is the final speaker for our candidates corner. Last call, if anyone else would like to speak, if you are running for office. Going once, going twice.
Can I just say that I really do miss everybody, and COVID sucks, and I can't wait to hug and squeeze everyone. Thank you, that's all.
All right, thank you for making that quick. So moving on to our next order of business. So this is a bit of an in-house business. Every year we hold steering committee elections here in the Our Revolution Harris County chapter. We are currently having 3 elections again this year. Well, I'm sorry, 4 elections this year for a leadership position with our chapter. If anyone is interested in becoming a member of the steering committee, we have 3 open positions, and we also have our yearly election of our state steering representative who represents our region to OR Texas. We're looking for progressive-minded people. Just to give you an idea of the commitments, one of the obvious commitments is helping organizing these monthly meetings, finding guest speakers, informing our members on current event issues, political issues, ways to get involved. So if you're already an activist, I mean, you already have half the job done. So if you are interested in signing up for leader positions, there is a Google form where you can put your name on a ballot. The final date we'll have for you to sign up to put your name on the ballot is going to be in our November meeting. So you have a good 2 months to decide and sign up if you want to join our fabulous organization and become a leader. And we're hoping to meet a lot of progressives. So please think about it. And I think this is finally why everyone's here. We're having our guest speakers speak about the labor movement here in Harris County. We thought it was a perfect celebration for the upcoming Labor Day weekend. Our first speaker is, and Ginny, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing your middle name, but Virginia Strogner, is that correct? McDavid from the Harris County Labor Assembly. Ginny, are you here?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I'm in a public place. It may be kind of loud and my connection is kind of spotty. So if you lose me, you've got some other great labor leaders on the call. Jerry Wald is on the call from the State Employees Union, TSCU, CWA. And then, of course, Kenny Sumberlin is also on the call as well from IBEW 716 and a member of the Texas Gulf Coast Air Labor Federation Regional Board. I've been a long time union member. 31 years. I started flying for Continental Airlines back in 1990. I left a career in accounting, long story, but bottom line is I entered the aviation industry and joined the union as soon as I can. I had the misfortune of working for Frank Lorenzo, so it was important to be involved. And in 1999, I worked hard to make sure our local was affiliated with the Afl Cio of Harris County. I am the first woman president ever elected as Harris County president of the Afl Cio. I took Dale Wortham's place, who unfortunately passed away prematurely. So, and that was October of 2016. And my term just recently ended in March. The Afl Cio here locally is now part of a new regional structure. In the past, the Afl Cio, which stands for the American Federation of Labor, Congress of Industrial Organizations, both CIO and AFL merged back in the 1950s. It was in the past organized by counties, and the national several years ago made a big push to try and group regional bodies together to have a regional body. So now we have the Texas Gulf Coast Area Labor Federation, which is comprised of 13 counties in the vicinity. So I'm sure either or Kenny or I could share more information how that works. But obviously the big dog in the room is Harris County, and we represent well over 80 affiliates and thousands of union members throughout the region. What we do, we advocate for working people in the Texas Gulf Coast. We also mobilize our members and community partners to demand a fair shot at better lives for all, regardless of the color of our skin, which country we come from, or whom we love. We fight for working families by electing labor champions, coordinating campaigns to expand protections in the workplace, and partnering with community allies to improve the lives of our neighbors. We do have several labor disputes that are going on locally that I just want to apprise you of. Of course, one is Kroger and the United Food and Commercial Workers. Kroger is like the only unionized grocery store chain in the area. I believe they are currently voting on a contract as we speak. Maybe Kenny can provide more information on that. Also, United Steel Workers, which now represents some workers in the petrochemical industry. We have brothers and sisters in the Beaumont area that are locked out of their plant. And of course, the ongoing dispute with the International Association of Firefighters, Local 341, and the City of Houston. The firefighters have won some recent court challenges within the 14th Court of Appeals, but they still don't have a contract. So it's been unfortunate that the City of Houston has taken a position challenging the constitutionality of public sector collective bargaining, but they have, and they've managed to stave off going to any kind of arbitration to settle that labor dispute. And also, of course, actions. The Afl Cio, again, I mentioned we partner with community partners to try and make sure everyone has the right to vote, everybody has a safe place to live, and the dignity of the whole individual, to help on the whole person and not just their paycheck. Anyway, it's been a great experience, and it's had its ups and downs, but anyway, we just still have a lot to fight for. And so we are part of the Texas Afl Cio. We have Rick Levy, who's our president at the state level in Austin, and a fabulous team in Austin, and a lobbying effort where they track all the anti-worker and pro-worker legislation going on at the state capitol, and try and mobilize union members all over the state to affect change for the good. Of course, as you can imagine, the last several decades, we are on the defensive fighting bad bills, and that continues. We have had, members from the Texas Federation of Teachers fight to keep our schools safe and make sure we're not jeopardizing the health of our kids and our teachers that are going to school. I have an 11-year-old son in HISD, and he's too young to get vaccinated. So I've definitely been following those efforts as well. Just doing everything we can to make sure people in the region are getting paid a living wage and have workplace protections. So I would like to defer part of my time at this point to Kenny. I believe he's also been invited to be a guest speaker. I don't know if he's been given us a separate allotment of time, but and I'm more than happy to answer any questions any of you may have as well. And I'll turn the floor back over to Jeremy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McDavid. So normally what we do is we have a speaker speak at a time, but we can make this conversational. It's no problem at all. Kenny, would you like to jump in?
Sure. It's great seeing so many familiar faces here. Hi, all of y'all. I hope that we can start this campaign off right later in the year and actually get out there and campaign. I don't like this campaigning by Zoom and not being able to go out and shake hands and knock on doors, but hopefully we'll be able to correct that by November next year. I'm Ginny Sumberlin. I'm with the Electricians Union, IBEW 716. We're the construction side, not the lineman side that do the lines and high voltage lines. I'll mainly talk about the building trades. That's what I'm out of. And all the building trades in Houston have apprenticeship programs, and they're needing help right now. So if you've got any children, cousins, brothers, yourself, anybody that needs a job, we can put them to work. It's all equal. We've got what's called an MC3 program. They can take it and learn which program they fit in the best. It's a 2-week program, a 3-week program now, and you get to learn about all the different building construction crafts, and then you can decide which one fits you the best. And you can get a hold of me, you get hold of Paul Puente at the Building Trades, and we can help you get into that program. Our JTCs are our Joint Apprenticeship Training Committees, and they're earn as you learn. It's our version of college. You go to class for 4 or 5 years, depending on which craft you want to join. And you pay each year for your classes for that year. When you graduate, you don't owe anybody anything, but you work the entire time, so you're making money. You earn as you learn. It's equal pay for all. No matter sexual orientation, no matter race, nothing. Everybody makes the same money. So we are the original equality group. You graduate with no debt. Depending on which craft you join, we make between $45,000 and $120,000 a year. So it's not a bad way to make a living. I hope to see all of y'all next year at the Labor Day barbecue. It's been 2 years since we had one. Any of y'all don't know about it? The Saturday before Labor Day, all the unions get together at Pasadena Fairgrounds. It's a great day. Everybody's making barbecue. You can try everybody's barbecue. You can, politicians go up to the big hall and they get a chance to speak to everybody there. And it's a real good time, and everybody's invited. You don't have to be a member of a union. You just come on out and have a good time. Also want to talk a little bit about electrical vehicles and charging stations. That seems to be becoming the big thing right now. Be careful as you go out and buy these electric vehicles. You have to have a charging station put at your house so you can charge them. If you remember, after Hurricane Harvey and other disasters, there's a lot of people out there that'll come and promise to do work, but they're not trained, they're not licensed, they don't do it properly. When you get this done, make sure you check their license. They need to have at least a journeyman license when they do this work. If you hire a reputable company that has insurance, so if your house does catch on fire, it's, you know, they can have insurance to cover it. They're also going to have a master's license and a contractor's license. So ask to see these things before you let people work on your house. It's very important. The charging stations will be put all over the country. It's part of the Build Back Better program that Biden's got, and we're doing our best to get our part of that program. But those will be put in mainly at restaurants and things like that. When you get these electrical vehicles, and personally, I want to be in line right now for my new F-150 electric vehicle. When you drive 3.5 hours, then you're going to have to charge that vehicle for an hour. It's going to be at a restaurant. That's the only thing that makes any sense. You pull up, charge, go in and eat, come back out, your car's charged, and you leave. Also, remember, there's a couple of sides of these electrical vehicles people aren't thinking about. When we quit paying for the gas tax, we're going to have some way of paying for roadways, because we're going to lose all the money that now pays for roadways comes off your gasoline tax. We don't know how the battery is going to work as far as developing a memory. Your cell phone, your computer, if you leave it plugged in all the time, it develops a memory. We don't know what these batteries are going to be like in these electrical vehicles. So it's nothing is a perfect solution. It's all going to have to be worked through. Be patient, but that's the main thing I wanted to say. I will answer any questions anybody's got.
Well, first question I noticed in the chat is we have some people asking for y'all's communication ways that they can get in contact with y'all. So if y'all could share that in the chat with everyone, that would be much appreciated. As for our members, we are opening it up for Q&A. If anyone in our meeting has any questions for either Ginny or Kenny, please ask. You can either raise your hand or you can write your question in the chat. In the meantime, while we're waiting for questions, I had a question. Now that the sessions are over, the legislative sessions, the special sessions, what would be an effective way for us to help in the labor movement here locally in Harris County? What would you say would be an effective way for just the regular Joe Schmo to help push to make labor more powerful, more effective here in our own communities? And this goes to both Kenny and Ginny.
I'm already unmuted, so I'll go first, Ginny. Buy American-made products. Vote for politicians that support union labor and support American labor. We don't mind competing against the non-union element. We think we're better trained. We think we do a better quality job. We're ready to go. But we need to have a chance with our pensions, with our training, with our benefits, medical benefits. The people we compete against don't have retirements. They don't have medical. So we're already way behind when we bid jobs. So we need politicians that go for the most fair bid, not necessarily the lowest bid every time. Because when we compete against a non-union company and it's a 25, 30-story hospital, there's a lot of money involved in just pensions and medical. And in my opinion, when we build a hospital, our medical insurance helps us go to that hospital. So it's a return on their investment, but they don't always see that. And we need politicians, we need people who to support us in making sure we keep all of our benefits intact.
Jeremy, let me also add that one of the best ways is to join a union. One of the reasons why unions aren't as strong as they have been in the past is because union density is going down, and it's been going down dramatically for going on 2 generations now. In fact, there's only 7% of the American workforce that is unionized, and it's even smaller when you look just at the private sector. Only 7% of the private sector workforce is unionized. So if you don't have a union at your work site, you need to try and get one. It's not that it's easy to organize one, because the anti-labor forces in the legislatures at the state level and the federal level have made it very, very difficult. And that's why we need everybody's help to get the PRO Act passed Congress. We really have to have the PRO Act to make it easier to organize, so you're not penalized or fired if you try and organize at your work site. And the gig economy obviously makes it difficult because it's not as centralized as it used to. When we had a more centralized workforce, we had plants, we had more manufacturing, and we don't have that. We have Uber drivers working out of their cars when on their spare time. And so it can be a lot harder to organize, but there's definitely more of us than them. And we have to band together and support public officials and politicians that back labor. So you can always also go on our website and look and see who we're endorsing, because we put our candidates through a rigorous screening process as well. Thank you.
Hey, I have a question. Can I ask a question real quick?
Go ahead.
Kenny. Is he still around?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hey, hey, for your program that you said, were you, your apprenticeship program, do you have some kind of brochure or something that we can hand out to people to even make them aware of this?
We have a pamphlet for both the Building Trades MC3 program, the program I was talking about where you learn about all the crafts.
Yeah.
And each one of the unions also have usually a 3-parter that folds up for their individual. If they come by,
where can I get those?
I got my email in the chat. I can send you a digital copy. We can mail you paper copies that you can pass out. Either way you want to go.
Yeah. Okay. I'll send you an email in about 10 minutes, and then you can get to me. Just send me that information. I'll print it out and I can start handing it out. Because I know a lot of people that need it. So, all right.
Cool.
Thanks.
That's what I love to see. Our revolution, bringing people together. We do have a question from one of our members. This is from Jerry Wald. He's asking, how are boards and commissions appointment recommendations being made now by the labor movement? I'm not sure who this is directed to specifically, but would either of you care to answer this?
Yeah, I can take this. Jerry, your boards and commissions that you were in charge of, they're trying to rebuild it. They're going to have a boards and commissions meeting group, but it's going to be from the ALF and not from the Harris County. So it's going to be ALF wide, but they are trying to rebuild your committee. Yes.
Okay. We have another question from Glenna Dawson, one of our longtime regulars here at Our Revolution. She says that she is a UT retiree and a member of TSEU. And her question is, can UT faculty join the union? Again, I'm not sure.
Yes, this is Jenny. I'll go ahead and pipe in there. If they are part of the University of Texas system, and if they're considered an employee of the state, they should be able to join Texas State Employees Union. Jerry Wall would probably be able to best answer that question, since he's also a TSCU member. And a lot of it depends on, and one way you can tell is what kind of, if you have a pension, what kind of pension do you have? Do you pay into teacher retirement system or the state employees system? And so that might be one way to tell. And I will also notice, well, somebody mentioned they were a member of a Texas Employees Association. And so I'm not sure if he meant Texas State Employees. I'm not sure which union, but Texas Employees Association isn't a union. So I'm not sure maybe if that's misnamed. Also, Susan Cummins had mentioned something about joining. She's a retired community college teacher. George Corpus, who was the national Afl Cio president, started the Alliance for Retired Americans, which is a retiree group at the nationwide level for retired union members. There is a very active chapter here in Houston, and as well as the state level, Texas Association of Retired Americans, as well as the Houston chapter of ARA. So I will put information in the chat box for anybody interested in joining the Association of Retired Americans. That's a great way to keep our retirees active. And in fact, lots of times retirees have more time to block walk and phone bank than even full-time union members do who are still on the clock. So thank you.
We have a hand raised from Jerry Wall. Jerry, you're welcome to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Great. Actually, I don't want to ask a question. I want to answer or encourage Glenna, who knows me well, to go ahead and be in touch with me about this, and we can do this conversation offline. So, as Ginny indicated, it depends upon whether who is paying your pension if you're retired, whether it's the AFT or the HFT, or whether it's the state. And so some positions, I know, for example, faculty positions, U of H, tend not to be members of Texas State Employees Union because we actually don't have any influence over the certain kinds of pensions that they sign up for. I don't know what the situation is at UT, and whether we're talking about University of Texas or University of Texas Health Science Center, and those are differentiations as well. So again, you can certainly get in touch with me, Glenna, and we can talk about it a lot more. And I'm glad to provide service to anyone who has some questions about that. But I think that both Ginny and Kenny have about 15 times more knowledge than I do about labor unions in this area, because they've been at it a whole lot longer than I have.
Thank you for your comment, Jerry. I don't see any more questions in the chat. So I would think this is a good time to say thank you to our special guests for coming in, both Kenny Sumberlin and Ginny McDavid. Thank you for spending your Labor Day weekend with us. I know it's not an easy thing to give up. So again, 1,000 times thank you. I also wanted to give a shameless plug. Our t-shirts are also union made and union printed to show you that we do support unions. So you buy from us, you support unions. Yeah. So moving on with our lineup. Q&A. So recently we had our Texas convention. I believe, Scott, you are going to speak a little bit about this, a little bit of a recap of how the convention went. Can you take over?
Yeah, hopefully a lot of us were there, so I'm not going to spend too much time. I think we have more interesting work to get to today. But we actually did an event to get some business done because we needed to approve our endorsement process update. We needed to approve our new set of bylaws, also our code of conduct and our regional map for Texas. So those 4 things got done. I can update you, everything passed. The only thing that came out of it besides, basically, yes, this is fine, was that there was suggestions for a committee to look at the regional map and see if we can do something better. So that will happen. I've asked for that to be put on the agenda of the state organizing committee, which will be meeting in about a week and a half. So that'll be taking off soon. We also did 4 informational sessions. At 11 o'clock, we started with Penny Shaw and Jasmine Crockett talking about the state legislature, which was incredibly informative and, of course, exciting because of what's going on there. Then at noon, we had how to run as a progressive. Christian Menefee was on that panel, Jessica Cisneros. It was excellent. Christian always knocks it out of the park. I thought it was really good. 1 p.m. we had Transforming the Party with a bunch of folks that you guys may know, Dylan Forbes, Andre Traber, Mike Floyd, Farouk Shamsi was there. So we had 5 people that have all either have an office with the party or have had an office with the party. And, I couldn't have imagined a better panel for that topic. And then at 2 p.m., Achieving Progressive Policies. at the local level. Our own T. Bell was on there, and we had county commissioners and city council members on there as well. So I think it was all very informative, and the most amazing thing for me was that we kept it all on time. Every single one of those 5-hour sessions finished in less than an hour. I was also real pleased to see how far this organization has come. We put together, 5 different sessions and 4 different panels pretty easily. That would have been very, very difficult when we first started out. So let's continue on with the rest of our business today.
All right. I also wanted to mention in the chat, if you missed the convention, we do have a YouTube. We did post it on YouTube, so you can watch it at your own convenience, as well as a way for you to check out our bylaws and our new past endorsement process. Next on the agenda is, yes, our monthly report card. So normally here we like to showcase a candidate who we feel stood out. And I specifically wanted to showcase Carol Alvarado. While the Texas Democrats were fighting the Republican bills in DC, the Senate was here kind of getting steamrolled, but Carol Alvarado wouldn't let that handle. She took stand by issuing a filibuster against the voting rights bill, standing for 15 hours. I can't imagine talking for 15 hours. Just the sheer endurance alone is very impressive. And to do everything that you can in the fight to do what is right for not only Texas, but what for everyone is definitely a type of candidate, a type of politician, type of progressive that we need to see here in Texas. So we wanted to give big thanks to Carol Alvarado. For our Hall of Shame this month, we have a very special Hall of Shame, the first ever multi-Hall of Shame. There were actually 5 candidates, so we only have the first 3 here. Garnett Coleman, Ann Johnson, and Armando Wally. The main reason why we have these 3 individuals on our Hall of Shame was these were the key Houston delegation individuals who returned from DC, allowing the second special session to continue and having a number of bills passed into law that were egregious. Let's just say that. By giving up the fight and not even having adequate communication with their fellow Democrats to tell them what they were going to do or how they were going to plan, is shameful. We also have a first ever Hall of Shamer, where we chose Harold Dutton, who, mind you, is the only candidate to be mentioned on our Hall of Shame 2 times. And also Ann Hernandez, who we regret that she was one of our endorsed candidates back in, Scott, if you remind me, 2018, correct?
Correct.
2018. Because of her actions, we made a decision that we will not renew her endorsement or send her a questionnaire in the following 2020 elections. Scott, would you like to add, or Chuck, would you like to add more to this?
We're about to get to that, so why don't we do the next slide?
Okay.
Okay.
There you go.
So this is a press release, which we are going to put out with the approval of our membership today. So I'm going to read this to you, and then we're going to ask if anyone objects to us sending this out, because we are trying to be transparent and democratic and open in everything that we do. But this is in direct reaction to what happened in the legislature. So it reads as follows. Our Revolution endorsed Anna Hernandez in her race for Texas House District 143 in 2018, based on her recent decision to return to Austin without notifying her colleagues in Washington, D.C., thus providing the Republican legislators with the quorum they need to pass voter suppression, anti-LGBT, negative bail reform, and other legislation that places politics before the people of Texas, Our Revolution Harris County officially rescinds that endorsement. Furthermore, any legislator that did not break quorum or that returned to Austin early, thus enabling a quorum, is disqualified from any endorsement for their elections in 2022. This includes Garnett Coleman, Harold Dutton, Anna Hernandez, Ann Johnson, and Armando Wally. Furthermore, we are putting out the call for primary challengers in the districts of these 5 representatives. If you are interested in running for office, please contact us using the information below. So that's the body of the text. So if you're thinking about running for office, this may be your time. We want to talk to you. So how should we do this vote? I think we can just do an anyone objects, raise your hand kind of thing. So I move that we approve this press release. Anyone opposed, please raise your hand.
Just wanted to say I second your motion.
Thank you.
May I ask a really quick question?
Of course.
Of course.
So I was at another meeting and someone said, and I don't know if this is true, and maybe you've already investigated it, but before I do any voting, and I guess I probably shouldn't vote since I'm a judge, but I still, you know, I'm invested. They said that Anna Hernandez came back because she had childcare issues. Do you know if that's true? That they said something about a single mom and school was starting and she didn't have anybody to help her or something. Does anyone know if that's the truth or not?
I don't know if it's the truth, but I do know she was in Austin voting.
I was just asking because at another meeting they had said that, and so I was like, I haven't investigated. I'm just trying to figure out who to be upset with and who not to be upset with.
Yeah, and that one hurts for us, Deidre. I mean, to be quite honest, you know, we not only did we endorse her 3 years ago, but you know, her voting record isn't bad. You know, but the fact that she returned and gave them a quorum by showing up allowed them to pass everything that they had a majority for.
Absolutely. So, yeah, absolutely.
Jerry, is that a vote no, or is that a question?
It's, well, I think prior to a vote no, it's useful to have a discussion, even though it's been laid out as if there's only one option, which is to vote no. So A, I have a real problem with that. B, has anyone in this organization spoken to directly any of the people that you're condemning for their actions to find out what were the reasons that they left? Because if you don't do that and you condemn someone, then that's basically assuming that they're guilty before being proven innocent. And I'm not saying they didn't. They didn't.
They did. They left.
I understand that people left. I don't know how many know, but Garnett Coleman lost his leg or part of his leg to a disease, and so he may not have been able to go or stay in Washington, D.C.
That one I do know about.
I have worked for virtually every one of the candidates that you have identified, that but the group has identified as being, I'm not sure what to call them, but ones you're not going to endorse again. And unless you have made the actual effort to call each one of them and ask them about what they did, rather than just reading the news headlines, that would be very problematic for me. And I would encourage people, until that is done, not to endorse this this proposal.
So first of all, I'd like to say I apologize for not opening it up for discussion before going straight to the vote. I should have done that. We got 2 more hands up. Candace?
Well, hello, everybody. Dr. Matthews, how y'all doing? Texas Coalition Black Democrats and Rainbow Push Coalition. Scott, thank you for inviting me. Really appreciate it. And I'm not a member of your organization yet. I'm still taking a look, see. But to add back up to this is that, you know, we were a part of this whole process throughout the legislators leaving for the first time, all the way from when the legislators left to go to Washington, D.C. And at the end of the day, if you had an emergency and you left, you had no business being at the Capitol. That right there seals the deal. Number two, Garnett Coleman, he's not even going to run again. So that seat is he already made that clear that he's not running. So at this point right now, we got to look at, if it quacked like a duck, it looked like a duck, it's a duck. Okay, because now what has happened, based on their decision of going back to that Capitol and making a quorum, now we have a Harris County judge that's possibly going to be impeached. We have women's rights that is actually have been like that. We don't have any rights to have an abortion or anything like that, even if we get raped by a cousin, uncle, or whoever. Then on top of that, our voting rights. So we got to look at what the serious issue is. The Republicans have actually prepared an assault on our democracy, and it was perpetuated by Democrats who we put in office. So we have to make a decision. Are we going to continue to allow this behavior to happen, or we're going to hold them accountable? What are we doing?
Great. Well, you're not a member, so good thing you don't get to vote.
Your mic is live, Jerry.
But I may become a member.
Judge Fleischer? Judge Fleischer, you have a comment?
Yeah, I Dr. Matthews, go for it.
No, I was saying, since he has something to say, I may become a member today. How about that? Then you're going to have to deal with it. Because at the end of the day, I'm like this, guys. We have to look at the whole issue at hand.
These backpacks, what are these?
We have to look at the whole issue at hand. And it's not that, you know, we want to condemn people. It's not that we want to, you know, hammer people. No. But when you are not doing what's for the best interest of our people and our platform, you have to be held accountable for that. You know what I mean? Because if you claiming that you have childcare issues or someone's sick, or however the case may be, hey, we completely understand that. But what we don't understand, why are you at that Capitol though? Why are you not taking care of what needs to be taken care of? Just like we had Representative Harold Dutton, right? Harold Dutton had came back. We did verify that his sister was sick. We did verify that his sister passed, and our heart goes out to him and his family for that. However, you at the Capitol, why are you not with your sister? So let's not.
Thank you, Candace. I agree. Let's let somebody else get in. I'm aware that nobody's answered your question yet, Jerry. I have not contacted anyone directly. But as Candace said, I am aware that these people went to Austin. They didn't go home to take care of their kids. They didn't go, you know, because they were recovering from surgery. And Harold Dutton missed many votes because of that surgery, but he still showed up to give them a quorum. Next question, Alicia or Alice, sorry, right chair. Sorry.
Before we move on, I don't know if Judge Fletcher finished his comment. He kind of
sorry.
To Dr. Candace.
Judge Fleischer.
Okay, sweetheart, give me a second. All right. So my question is, and maybe this is because I just don't know, and you guys can help me out. So they left Austin, they went to Washington, right? They stayed in Washington for what, like a month and a half? How long was it? It's like a month and a half, something like that. So while they're there in Austin, Scott, are they expected to live, eat, completely just maintain life by themselves and just at their own expense for however long this could possibly be? Because theoretically, they could be there for a year because he could just continue to keep calling special sessions, right?
There is a limit, I believe, on the amount of time they could have done that, but that's a reasonable point. I mean, I think a lot of folks would have been willing to help them out with their living expenses and the difficulties that they were having back at home because they're away.
They did. They had organizations that they had a pastoral organization that got with the Rainbow Push Coalition, also with Al Sharpton, and they all raised money for them. So it wasn't like they were just up there on a limb. The main purpose why they went to DC is because we need to get that John Lewis Act passed to kill everything else. And that was the only option that they had to do, because otherwise we were going to get slaughtered.
Okay, back to Alice.
Yeah, hi, long time no see. The question is, are the candidates, has anybody invited the candidates? Are they willing to be courageous enough to explain why they came back to give that quorum? Has anybody asked for them as guests to come speak?
Right, which is similar to Jerry's question. We have not. So, the action that's before us today is to move forward with this without doing that, which personally, just me, I think we need to respond quickly and decisively and hold these people accountable. But we can put a motion on the floor to do something else, send them a letter, invite them to the next meeting, what have you.
I don't know how appropriate it is for the organization to say, well, because of what you've done, so to speak, we're not endorsing you. I don't know if that's appropriate or not, and we would like a response.
Okay, Rayford Galloway. Rayford, you're still on mute.
I'm just trying to get off of mute. Anyway, as I mentioned in the chat, that I was a state government employee, and I was subjected to ongoing racial harassment, all the whole 9 yards. I filed several administrative complaints against this racist white IT manager. And one of the complaints or administrative complaints I filed was a call to 911 to the police department because we had mediation meeting. I filed a complaint with the EEOC twice. They did nothing. And so I got proof that one of the top EEOC investigators from back east had the video talking about the EEOC don't have Black people, and that's true. And so I was compelled to use my personal experience and background as a pro se litigant, civil, dealing with employment issues like I did in California back in the early 90s. And because no attorney, no employment attorney or civil rights attorney would help me, I had to do it on my own. But I filed a lawsuit before I got terminated from Health and Human Service. Now, before I got terminated, I had several administrative complaints, and I also had 2 charges with the EOC, and they did nothing. I was even a member of the union, the Texas Employees Union, and they took my money and didn't do nothing. So the thing is, I wrote a letter to Washington, D.C. Texas got the Jim Crow laws going here, and they need to be stopped, and Greg Abbott need to be impeached, and the rest of Trump supporters need to be impeached, and that's what I want to do.
Thank you, sir. So let's move on with the press release issue. Charles.
So a few days after the quorum was reestablished, I got on the phone with what I thought was the better line of communication because I expected that their office phones were blowing up. So I called Alan Jamail, SD6 committeeman, because Ana Hernandez's district is, I believe, 100% within SD6. And I spent about an hour on the phone with Alan explaining that I was deeply unhappy with the quorum breakers who break and allowed them to reestablish, and knew that there was going to be a slew of trash bills passed because they came back. I specifically told Alan, we need to hear from these representatives why, not the pablum that they feed to the general press on it's time to stop the partisanship and work together and just random crap. We need to hear explicit, clear details of why they individually, personally returned, because as has been made clear, and I want to repeat, they left in the middle of the night. All the reporting that I've seen from the House Democratic Caucus in DC said we had no idea that they were leaving. None. Had they obtained the blessing of the House Democratic Caucus to go back, that would be one thing. If they had just come back to Texas and not gone to Austin, that would be something. Had they gone to Austin and not gone to the Capitol building, that would be something. But they didn't. They went straight into the Capitol building and showed up and allowed a quorum to be established without getting any kind of leave from the House Democratic Caucus, without making any kind of explanation. They could have gone any of a million square miles other than where they went. And they chose to go to the Capitol and reestablish quorum.
And Penny Shaw and Jasmine Crockett mentioned that at the convention, as a matter of fact, that they had no idea those three were going back. Any other?
Middle of the night.
Any other questions, comments?
Yes, Scott. This is Dr. Matthews again. I am now officially a paying member. Yay! Okay.
Yay.
Let's just look at this, what it is, guys. So do y'all want these people to continue to lie to you, or do you all want to see what it is? Right? And clearly these people went and established quorum. And this was an assault on our democracy. You understand what I'm saying? So my thing is, why would you want to, I mean, the proof is there. You understand what I'm saying? I understand if you had childcare issues. I understand, you know, you had a leg issue. We even had a conversation with Garnett Coleman, and Garnett Coleman cussed everybody out there called him.
He does that.
Like, and made it very clear that I don't give a damn what none of y'all say. I'm going, right? Then on top of that, we know how serious this was, you know, because the Democrats, we actually had a heads up. You know what I mean? We have sparked national attention. We have sparked attention to the fact that we are not going to take this sitting down. And for 4 Democrats to go back in there, go completely against what everybody has sacrificed for, y'all want to sit up here and have a conversation with that? The proof is there. They did it. They voted. And look, we have a judge who's got to get impeached from Briscoe Kane stanky behind. Come on, guys. We got to push back. When they hit you, you hit them back. That's
So we're not going to be able to finish the rest of the business unless we bring this to a conclusion. We didn't really think through a good way to vote on this, Jeremy.
Don't worry. Just made a poll question.
You did? Okay. I was hoping you were going to say that.
Can I
All
go
right,
ahead and
so-
say something real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, as I say in the chat, I mean, I agree with most everybody that, you know, you don't want, you want to go ahead to Jeremy's point of at least calling these people and saying, we're going to do this press release, so that the first thing that they say when a press person calls them, well, they never told me anything about it. So just to give it a very tight time frame, so you can at least do that, and just have the committee, you know, make a decision of what the press release will be. I don't know, Wednesday or Thursday, and do it. You know, I think, you know, I was watching the way that unfolded, and I mean, there was just really no good way that was going to turn out. I mean, I think that by going up there, they at least got the federal people to do some voting rights stuff. And we've got all this chaos and that's unfolding. And I think, you know, to have something saying about the Democrats are going to be mobilizing to stop this kind of behavior in the future would be a good thing to have be the point of the press release. So that's it.
I have one thing, and I'm gonna shut up. Okay, and to your point, sir, I definitely agree with what you're saying, but this is my question. Did they call any of these grassroots organizations who put them in office and tell us did they tell us? Did they tell us, hey, my child is sick, so I'm gonna have to come back, so I want to make sure I provide some transparency? Did they tell us that? So really, we have to set the stage to let them know this behavior would not be tolerated. You're going to be held accountable for that choice that you made. I'm done.
Was that a question to me?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. I was saying that I was agreeing with you on majority of it. The only thing that I didn't agree with was that, number one, they didn't think enough of us because we worked hard to get these people in office with the grassroots and the ground game to get these people in office. And they didn't think much enough to call us and let us know, hey guys, this is the situation that I'm having. Hey, this is what we're not doing. And guess what? I talked to majority of all the legislators throughout the process. They will call and send me things. They will send me things so I can post it on social media. They will keep us transparent on what's happening. But these couple here didn't have the audacity to even let us know nothing. So why should we?
Well, I think it's just being practical politically, that you don't want to take a shot at them and have something that they can come back in defense of their untenable positions. That's one, and it's really just about perception and starting to turn the ball around so that instead of having a pitiful minority presence at the state legislature.
But let's move on, guys.
Okay.
So I'm going to launch a poll. I kept it really simple. It's asking to approve the press release. You could vote to either support, oppose, or to table. The table will be involving to where we would contact them individually, get more information, and we will share that information with our membership. We understand that time is of the essence. So as the steering committee, we'll try to do this in a reasonable amount of time. I also wanted to say thank you everyone for the discourse. I feel like the only way that we can truly move forward is we share our thoughts and we have these types of discussions.
Hey, Jeremy, does it allow the co-host to vote? Because I don't think I'm able to vote.
No, so Scott, you
know how I'm voting.
And Chuck are abstaining from this particular poll because we're host co-hosts. Also, Bill, you said you had a comment?
I have a couple comments. First off, our revolution is not an arm of the Democratic Party.
Aren't we in a vote rather than a discussion about this?
Organization.
Give him the floor. Jerry, give him the floor. Go ahead, Bill.
We support politicians that support our issues. Period. Very simple. And I applaud our representatives that went to Washington. But anyone is paying attention to what's going on in Washington. Today, we talked about the voting rights bill. We talked about the PRO Act, all of which are going down the tubes because of Democrats. Because there are Democrats in Washington that will not vote for Democratic initiatives. So I have no patience with Democrats that enable the opposition. End of story.
We have the poll up for about 2 minutes now. Please make your choice. We have about 13 people who still have not voted, who is on this call.
Can you see names, Jeremy? Because really, it's only a member vote.
No, it doesn't say names. We also have one vote on our Facebook page from our very own Latanya. So if you are voting, please do so. 5 seconds. I will be closing it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hopefully I can share. So hopefully, I'm not sure if y'all could see the results, but the results are we had a 41% for support, a 6% for oppose, and a 53% for a tabling. Judging from these results, it seems that the steering committee will need to have some discussion on this, and we will get back to our membership and we will make our decisions. Thank you everyone who shared your ideas and your thoughts and your opinions on this.
Jeremy, at least write down the result because we're going to need that.
Oh, okay, sure.
7, 1, and 9.
I'll screenshot it.
Because
got it, Chuck?
you and I and Chuck didn't get counted, so.
As well as Latanya's vote, who I said
Right.
voted on Facebook. So, and we have a comment from Susan. Comment: the motion didn't have a date to bring the issue off the table. So for, I guess, a specific time frame for the table. I will try. Let's say we will have this decided. Y'all good by Thursday? All right, Chuck. All right. So we'll have this table and figure. According to Robert's rules, I'm gonna be honest with you, Miss Cummings. I don't know Robert's rules off the back of my hand. We try to make things official and try to follow procedures. But if we're making any mistakes on Robert's rules, I apologize. That's not any of our forte. But it does look like this does need further discussion, and we're going to further discuss this. And what the steering committee has decided, we'll of course share with our membership. So please check out our Facebook and please check your emails, because we will communicate with y'all about this further. All
I would
right.
encourage anyone who has a objection to document their objection. All of those who are support of tabling it to write down exactly what they see as the shortcomings, and then allow the steering committee to work on it and get back to you.
Yeah,
Also-
since you want to do it on the chat, and maybe just send it to a specific person.
I'll put my email in the chat right now.
We'll also put our chapter email, ourrevolution@harriscounty@gmail.com. You can also send your questions, comments to either email shared in the chat to the Chucks or the Our Revolution email. I think we should go ahead and move on for the sake of time. Our next order of business is involving our own Elizabeth Santos, where Elizabeth Santos is or should I say currently an endorsed candidate back from 2017, and she is currently up for re-election. Now, due to the new endorsement process, there is a way that we can just vote to renew her endorsement, as opposed for her going through the entire process of filling out the questionnaire and form. So this will be our second voting on this case. But before we do vote, I would like to say if Elizabeth Santos would like to share anything or say anything regarding why we should continue and renew her endorsement. Ms. Santos, are you here?
I am. Thank you so much, Jeremy. I am a Bernie supporter twice over. I am pro-union. My dad's been a union member since I can remember Brown and Root. I was part of the CWA. I was an HFT steward. And I'm a teacher through and through. I know that some people have questioned one in particular vote from the dais, and I'm happy to answer any questions about that. But I just want everyone to keep in mind that my votes have always been centered around children. And although elected officials, we have 2 minutes from the dais with 2 rounds, and each vote tells a story. And if there's ever a doubt on why I voted the way I voted, I would ask as an elected official for the courtesy of explaining my votes. But again, I have never taken money from any vendors. I have made sure that our working communities, both teachers, support staff, our children of color, our communities of color, our poor communities have, moved $30 million from the bureaucracy that is Hattie Mae White into the classroom, specifically for children that don't have the resources they need. I have stood by my values and I voted that way.
So I would love to have your support and the renewal of the endorsement, and would be happy to answer any questions.
Before we cast the vote, does any of our membership have any questions for Ms. Santos or Mrs. Santos?
It's okay. Miss Santos is fine.
Going once, going twice.
I'll ask one, Jeremy.
Oh, yes.
So she can't be here today, but the reason I knew we were going to get this question is that somebody gave it to me, but she's in the hospital, so I promised to ask it for her. Obviously, the 3 years that you've been in office have been, or is it 4 years?
It'll be 4.
All right, so
Almost
4
4.
years you've been in office have been fraught with a number of huge issues, scandals, blow-ups, everything you could possibly imagine. One of the things that we were very happy about was that when the RFP came up, which could potentially have privatized several HISD schools, you voted against that, unlike some of your colleagues who are not going to be invited for endorsement this time around. Another thing that happened, however, was that the existing superintendent was voted out, Granita Lathan. Granita Lathan was African-American. The vote that happened for that was the 3 African-American board members against the rest, which included yourself. So this person, pointed out that some people got the impression that was racially motivated. So could you respond to that, please?
I can respond to that, and I'm just going to go back to what I previously said. So much happened my first year on the board, and I was very naive and very, I'm going to vote for the next right thing. And I've always voted for the next right thing. And at that time, that particular moment in time, what people couldn't see is that our district was, so we have a confidentiality clause that I can't talk about personnel that are no longer with the district. So I'm trying to, how about I just talk about my votes? And so, and then hopefully that'll explain a little more. So in 2018, there was a teacher step increase that the administration refused to move forward with. They basically brought it in after teachers had already signed their contracts and our teachers were blindsided. So I proposed an amendment to make sure that our teachers got what they deserved and what they were promised, or what they thought they were promised, what we thought we had approved in June. Then there were just the attempted privatization of our schools, which I voted against, and the April 24th meeting, which again, I was the only trustee that came out and addressed the community and made sure that the 3 women that were arrested were not, what the public doesn't know is that I made sure that those women were not hurt or harmed or pressed charges against. I did that. I really went over and beyond, this arena, this political arena that could have, and I did. I burned some bridges with people because I was doing the next right thing and not the politically expedient thing. Since then, I know that the administration then proposed a budget that would give our lowest paid employees a 35-cent raise and our highest paid employees a $20,000 increase. And so I have fought really hard to make sure that our communities of color and our children of color and our poor communities have received what they received. And those are my votes. Those are my votes. And I'm sticking to my votes because that right there, what I do with my finger and where the money goes making sure that our $30 million taken away from the bureaucracy that Hattie Mae White and given to our communities, that is doing the next right thing. And there's a lot that people don't see, and a lot of things that go behind the scenes. And I'm not in those rooms. I have never taken one vendor dollar. I have never taken, I don't do that. I am policy driven, student focused, student centered, and I've never and will never do anything that, you know, would hurt our kids. Now, regrettably, because of my naivete, that vote that I took that I thought was going to help our students at that time, I did not realize that hurt many of my my colleagues and my students, and that is regrettable. That the fact that people would think that was racially motivated, or that would, I apologize for that, because that was not my intention. But I promise you, like, all that money that our kids deserve it, and our teachers and our support staff that are primarily women of color, that's where that money's gone. And it's not gone into my pocket or some contractor's pocket or anything. And my votes have only been for our kids. I'm sorry, I'm crying. I know I always get crap for people telling me that I'm so emotional, but when it comes to kids, it's a very personal subject. I was a teacher for 10 years. That's the best that I can give you without breaking my oath as a trustee and not talking about former personnel. But my votes are my values. And I know that I can't tell you more than that, but I promise you the money, and follow the contracts and follow the money and follow our votes, and everything has been to honor our kids and our teachers and our support staff and people that don't historically have a vote. I mean, just to let y'all know, I'm the first woman of color from District 1, the first Latina to ever it comes from the wrong side of the tracks. I'm from the hood. I still live here. I gave up my job, my livelihood, my passion, my career, everything to serve our community, because we've never had representation. And I thought I was doing an okay job. I mean, you know, if you're put in this situation from day one, you're not going to be the best trustee from day one. I mean, I'm just as prepared as any one of my colleagues. I was just as prepared as they were. Nobody knows what it's like to drink from a fire hose. And I voted my values, and I know that I can't say more than that.
So Elizabeth, if I can follow up, you're saying a couple of things. One, that it was not racially motivated on your part, and two, that you regret your vote.
I regret not being transparent with the process of the vote, as far as like when that motion was made. I thought it was the best thing for our district at the time, because we wanted so badly to do an extensive search, a nationwide extensive search. And when that motion came up, that's what I thought that meant, that we were going to be able to move forward with an extensive search, to be able to find a permanent superintendent, to bring stability to our district. And, you know, when we originally voted for Dr. Lathan, we were told that we were not gonna, she was not gonna apply for the permanent position. So it was just to move forward with the search. And again, the negative, yes, it's regrettable. Yes, it's absolutely regrettable, because I never in a million years saw that was racially motivated. It was not racially motivated. It was not. I mean, I regret that. I regret that I wasn't able to articulate to the community what was really going on. And I regret that if I could take it back and explain everything and then vote, then maybe people would understand what was really going on. But I mean, I do regret hurting Dr. Lathan like that. I do regret hurting the African American community because they thought that that was racially motivated, and it wasn't.
Jeremy?
I haven't seen any other questions in the chat. I will say though, we have a few comments on both our Facebook and chat in favor of your re-endorsement. If there are no further questions, we're going to go ahead and start the polling. We do ask that if you are a member of our revolution, that you vote. If I can. So it's a very simple polling, just asking, do you support the re-endorsements of Ms. Elizabeth Santos? With only two options of in favor or oppose. We'll give you a little time to make your decision. While we're waiting, we will be doing our members minute right after this. So if you are interested in speaking for the members minute, please just raise your hands in the chat, and then you will have 1 minute to share any community involvement or engagement activities that you may be involved with, or other organizations that you can share with us. I'm going to give 10 more seconds of the poll. 5. Ending the poll. I am not sure if I could see, but we have a strong in favor for the re-endorsement with a total of 9 of our members voting, 8 being in favor, 1 opposed. So I always wanted to say this, by the power invested in me, we have now renewed the school board trustee endorsement of our revolution Harris County to Miss Elizabeth Santos. Please continue fighting the progressive fight for us.
Thank you.
Little cheer, everyone. Yay. All right. So next, as I said, is our members minute. This is a chance for our members to share anything that they would like to share, organizations, activities, upcoming events, things that would help push the progressive movements. If you are a candidate, we asked, please do not talk about your campaign. This is not meant for our campaigners. This is meant for our activists to share fellow activities to be active in. So is there anyone who would like to share for the members minute?
I'll try to get off by saying, folks, remember, we've got an election coming up. There are constitutional amendments on the ballot. Hopefully that is something that we're going to be talking about in the near future. We would love to hear that folks are getting VDVR certified or recertified. If you had it lapse, there's always voter registration events going on. I was at a voter registration event this morning on the USS Texas. They're having a Labor Day weekend open event for the battleship Texas, and I believe tickets are getting close to selling out. So if you want to go see Texas before she gets dragged off, this is the weekend, and there is a voter registration booth hosted by the elections office themselves on the battleship Texas. Looks like
May I say something? Hello. I don't know if a moment of silence is in order, but Ed Asner, who's a great progressive leader, you know, who suffered mightily as head of the Screen Actors Guild, died this last Friday. He was deposed from the presidency of the Screen Actors Guild. He was the most decorated television actor ever, and he had investigated into the Iran-Contra stuff, you know, the CIA support for the civil war in Nicaragua, El Salvador, and he was blackballed, but continued to be a voice for justice to the very, very end. I got to meet him a couple of times, you know, and I went with my wife to see him in Galveston when he did a one-man show honoring Franklin Roosevelt. So he's someone we should look back to. And, you know, enlarging the picture, the fact that President Biden, you know, withdrew the troops from Afghanistan and has come under attack from people in both parties, you know, and from liberal and conservative, you know, media alike. If you compare Fox and CNN, ain't much difference in their attacks on President Biden for taking this step. But it becomes particularly relevant because this coming week is the 20-year anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, which were the purported reason for the war in Afghanistan in the first place. And there's still a host of lies, you know, out there on that, you know, and President Biden has called for opening up, you know, some of the FBI files on that, which are still, because he had been told he was not going to be allowed to, invited to the ceremonies by the widows and orphans and what have you, you know, of 9/11. So I just think that while we're looking at these other immediate battles, I mean, there's colossal events underway in the world that we cannot pass
Thanks,
by.
Joe. We're getting
Thank you.
close to 2 minutes.
Thank you.
We have a person with their hand up. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing this. Gian Thomas? Gian?
Yeah, Gian. Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Gian Thomas. I'm a political strategist in the Houston-Katy area. I also have a political podcast called Raw Take, where we talk about progressive issues and also interview candidates. I also have an organization called POP, which is Protest, Organize, and Participate. And we focus on getting young people between the ages of 18 and 30 registered to vote and getting them politically active. This is my first meeting with Our Revolution, but I have done some phone baking with Our Revolution before. And so just, you know, wanting to, you know, just say hello to you guys and, you know, build some bridges and probably work with y'all in the future.
That's awesome. Gian, if you want to share that information in the chat, you're more than welcome to.
Definitely, definitely.
Do we have any other speakers who would like to speak for the members' moment? Members' minute. I would like to speak for Latanya, who posted on our Facebook. She said her members' minute. Hello to everyone. Been in the hospital, but I'm home now recovering. Thanks for everyone for coming. I'll be back next month. Please encourage people to register to vote. Truth to power. Love you guys. Even when she's healing, she's still here with us. I'm do a last call for anyone else who'd like to speak for the members' minutes. Going once.
Yeah, me. Hi, I'm a new member. I'm excited. Okay, so I just wanted to say, in reference to what's happening with our judicial, Democratic judicial people are under attack now. So we need to take this very seriously. And I believe that we all need to join with all organizations to push back because the assault has already been prepared. So now we need to show, like Judge Chris Morton, that was really messed up, for all because he followed the law. You know what I mean? So now you want to come and assault our Democratic judges because you know the judges can't say anything. So we have to be a voice for them. So guys, let's join this fight. Let's put our foot in the sand and let's push back.
Thank you, Dr. Matthews. Will we have any more comments? Going once? Going twice? All right, then we can go ahead and move on. I believe the only things we have left for today. Yes. So a little upcoming org ways that you can get involved with Our Revolution. Just so you know, we will be having our next meeting on October 2nd at 2 p.m. It's always the first Saturday of the month. we are expecting to be holding our endorsement forum. So yes, we are in the process of vetting candidates to see who will we endorse. Now it is specifically school board because it seems that all of our races that we're focusing on now are just school board. We're looking at, I believe, Scott, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think 5 different ISDs and also the Houston Community College Board. So please come join us next month so you can vote for your endorsement, for our endorsements. Also, just a reminder, in order to vote for the endorsements, you do need to be a member. So please become a member before October 2nd.
Well, we normally, let me just inject, what we normally do for ballots for our endorsement forums is we use a Google form. So it'll be a little more a little more auditable than what we did today.
Yeah, we kind of did the unofficial way this this month, but for our endorsement forms, we'll have a better process. Also, our endorsement work group is still meeting. We do need help in vetting candidates. If you are interested in joining us, we meet every Monday at 6 o'clock. They are all virtual meetings, so you can do it from the comfort of your living room. All the help we can get is appreciated. So please, you can sign up using the Mobilize link, and I will put these links in the chat in just a moment. We also have a communications work group that meets on the first Wednesday after our general meeting. So this will be this coming Wednesday on the 8th. Again, it's at 6 o'clock. We also ask that you follow us on Facebook, our YouTube page, and also our TikTok. We also wanted to promote our Brazoria Fort Bend meeting, who's our sister chapter, who will be having their chapter meeting next Saturday on September 11th at 2 o'clock. You can sign up using through the Mobilize link. Again, I will post that in the chat in a moment. And I believe, yes, that's it. Let me stop sharing. And for the sake of all those links, let me post them in the chat so everyone can sign up. Other than that, that's it for our meeting. Thank you everyone for coming. This was a very interesting meeting. Also, we apologize for it running a little longer than expected. We had a lot of important things to discuss, and we're happy that everyone who had a chance to share did share. Charles asked for a group screenshot. Sure. You know what? That's a great way to finish. Let me change it to gallery view. We could ask if everyone can go ahead, turn on their cameras, show their pretty faces. Scott, you might want to turn your camera off.
Ooh.
Hey, we need to liven it up a little bit. Why not?
All right, folks.
Chuck, will you take care of the screenshot, please?
I will. I've got it coming up. I will give a count off. I want to make sure that I've got everybody. Give me one more second here. Last chance. I'm taking a picture in 3, 2, 1. Got it.
Awesome. Thank y'all, everybody. See you next month. And please keep a lookout on our emails and Facebook for the press release situation. Bye, everyone.